and it could be you too.
Welcome to the LWOO Show, you all, where we give you daily motivation and encourage you to never give up on your dreams. We have a special guest today. Oh, Jared, he's my friend from college. Oh, welcome, Jared. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be back in the Chi, so
Yes.
I'm glad to be back.
Yes.
Chi-town all day.
Chi-town all day, brother.
Yeah.
And I'm just so proud of you, man. Like, do you still remember us being in the dorm rooms, just ripping and running?
I know, back in the days, that HU life all day. You see, we got it up, Howard alum all day.
Right. You see,
There
we
we
had
go.
to, y'all, we had to get that Howard alumni out there.
Exactly.
You know, we
For the
went to
real HU.
Yeah, the real HU, right?
go.
Because we definitely went to the best one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, it's good to have, and you're sharp too, brother. You're sharp.
I've come a mighty long way. I appreciate it.
That's real.
Appreciate
That's
it.
real. Wow. Well, I'm so proud of you, you know, and I just want to hear more about your organization. So you started your own organization?
Absolutely, yeah. So we actually launched a new business called Black Gentleman's Guide. And the purpose of it is to promote the rise of black men through empowerment. So what we look to do is, you know, just through my own travels, through school, through corporate America, I just continue to see that there is a glass ceiling that continues to exist. And if we don't take the time to address it, then what's ever going to change?
Right.
So what we do is we look to bring in black men and teach them. You know, when you do better and when you know better, you do better.
Exactly.
And so through empowerment, teaching people along the way, we're hoping to, you know, help foster and create that opportunity for growth.
So Jared, I just really want to know who has inspired you to start Black Gentleman's Guide? Because I know you said that you've had different experiences like throughout corporate and like growing up, but is there one particular person that inspired you?
Yeah, I wish I could say one person gave me this grand idea, but no, it actually has come from my collective experiences. By trade, I help others build a better business from the ground up, as I like to call it, and starting from individuals. So by trade, what I do is actually work with independent small business owners and go in and work with them on a strategic level to build their business. As I've gone through corporate America, I've just continued to see that where I've been very blessed and fortunate to continue to rise, I recognize that there's not many of me there. So growing up, you know, I was talking to a couple individuals before, and as a kid, you realize early on that, as a black kid for that matter, what do you want to be when you grow up? An athlete, a musician, entertainment, because that's all we see.
Right.
And it's not to say that there's not black doctors, black lawyers that exist, but they just do not get as much shine or light, if you will, publicity. It doesn't, as well, you don't have to go far to see on the news a negative portrayal of who we are, what we're about, and what we have to offer. And so for me, it was, as I've continued to rise, I said, hey, why are there not more individuals like myself here? Why do I not turn on the TV and see more individuals in a positive that look just like me in a positive light? And so I said, hey, I can stay here and just continue to just focus on myself, and that's good and dandy, or I can really use my platform, my brand, myself as an individual to be a light to add to others.
Yes.
And so for me, it was, hey, I can come in here and create my own business and help other people do better. I mean, one of the sayings I live by is that, you know, alone you may go faster, but together you will definitely go further.
Yes.
And so I feel like when we can collectively come together, help each other out, we're always going to do better and succeed. So
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is, and I'm just so proud of you for stepping out on faith.
Yeah.
I had to do that last year, and it's the best feeling in the world when you finally have found your purpose.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's beautiful. And you know, another thing that really attracted me to your organization about Black Gentleman's Guide is the gentleman part.
Yeah.
And so I think that there are a lot of women who really, when they look for their king, their knight in shining armor,
Yeah.
they want a gentleman in so many ways. Like, of course, you want the balance and everything. Like, you don't want them to be, quote unquote, too ratchet, as they say, or you don't want them to be or too nice and polite, but something right in the middle. So what would you define a gentleman as? What is a gentleman?
That's a great question. Well, you know, it's not a true definition to a gentleman, but what I like to say, and for me, where it starts is all on faith. You know, a gentleman to me is someone who is living with a purpose, who has a plan, who is ambitious, and more importantly, what he's really doing is focusing on and in one way, focusing on himself and his own personal growth. To me, being a gentleman doesn't mean you have to look in a suit like myself. There's plenty of gentlemen who can wear whatever they want to wear and still are a gentleman. To me, it's really how you carry yourself, how you brand yourself, how you act in the public. And more importantly, it really comes down to that respect for not just yourself, but those around you, and recognizing that you have a voice, you have actions that you can do, but are you using that in a way to uplift others and speak life into others? Or are you using that in a way to do the opposite?
Exactly.
You know, for Black Gentleman's Guide, you know, we have 7 pillars that we really focus on. And, you know, I'll just highlight the first couple, but, you know, we look at empowerment, and we start with spirituality because, exactly to your point, it all starts with faith.
Yes.
You know, if I have faith and a strength and a belief that no matter what, at the end of the day, I'm going to win, then you're already off on the right start. And, you know, I think society has, you know, knocked down us in so many ways that we have to have that faith to continue to build ourselves up. What we also focus on is like empowerment. And so when I say empowerment, I think as we grow older, it's really easy to tell people what they should do and tell them how they should live and so forth. But not too often do you see individuals take the time to show people how they should live and show them through their own actions what they should do.
Yes.
And so what we really want to do is take that and flip it and teach people, hey, you want to be a gentleman or you want to conduct yourself, you don't want to be in this lifestyle anymore,
Right.
let me show you how you can get there.
Exactly.
Outside of that, you know, of course, we do get into fashion, we get into health and wellness, we look at relationships and finance and all of those. But, I mean, the ultimate goal for me, going back to your main question of what a gentleman isn't a defined answer. A gentleman is really, at the end of the day, you working to be the best version of yourself.
Come on, Jared. Drop the mic, G. Drop the mic. And you know, I have an add-on to that one. I'll save it for the Black Love portion.
Yeah.
But you brought up a great point when you started talking about with gentlemen and how to treat other people. But I'll save that for the Black Love.
Absolutely.
Right now, you guys, we're going to move into Black History Month because this is Black History Month, and I'm extremely excited to be in Black History Month. I mean, it's an opportunity, you all, for us to celebrate our culture.
Yep.
Like, and it's a blessing. Like, Black excellence at its finest. Okay.
Decadence.
So
Yes.
I just want to know, Jared, when it comes to Black History Month, you know, and you really get to sit there and think about everything that our people have been through and even some of the things that we're still going through today, who would you say are some of the men that inspire you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and it's something that, you know, as you go through life, and I think as you just get older, you really have a better understanding and respect and admiration for those who are around you. I mean, it's easy to be that knucklehead kid who's like, I'm not doing what my parents say, I'm going to be a rebel or whatever the case is. For me, you know, immediately who I look at is, of course, who you're closest to in terms of just that impact. And so I look at both of my grandparents. I was blessed and fortunate to know both sides of my grandparents growing up. My granddad, A.B. Wilson, who's 97, living in King Street, South Carolina right now. And it's like you recognize that as you get older, you really are, you know, your family. You really are. Each part of them or something about them that made them unique is still instilled within you. So from my granddad, you know, he was an orator. He was a professor. So for him, I feel like I got my love of arts. And from him, he was married 55 years before my grandmother passed. So for him, you just see what it means to, one, have a foundation and a belief in Christ like none other.
Yes.
Two, you recognize what it means to be, not just be in a relationship, but what love truly looks like in a relationship.
Yes.
You know, for my dad, of course, that's who raised me. So my dad and my mom, got to shout out the mom, of course.
Right.
You know, you can't say dad without mom.
Right. But
with my dad, you know, I felt like that's where I learned what it meant to work hard.
Come on.
You know, just to see him work multiple jobs. And I remember being a kid and being upset because we didn't have time to necessarily go shoot hoops all day. But I think for me, it was really seeing what true accountability looks like as an, and this is something I've talked about before when it comes to relationships, and we can touch on it a little bit more, but
can't wait to that Black Love portion.
When you get to a relationship, you know, as the man, the woman didn't ask you. to be in a relationship. The woman didn't ask you to marry her. You are asking for this, and so that means you have to take on the responsibility of what comes with it. So for my dad, he was the provider, making sure, you know, the house is taken care of, working the jobs, making sure my mom is taken care of. And just to see how he grinds, to see how he would work long hours, sleeping, falling asleep on the couch and so forth. I think early on I didn't get it.
Right.
But later on I recognized that, you know, this is what it means to be a man. This is what it means to take care of your responsibilities, take care of your households. I remember him driving, you know, a beat-up car. And when I say beat-up, this was like a old Acura Integra. And I mean, no, this is back in the day. It was built like a tank. It was a manual 4-speed car down to 3 cylinders. When it rained outside, it rained inside the car. It had like the roll-up windows.
Oh, I remember that.
The little pullover seat belts. And I remember like my dad's a doctor and a family physician. It's like, Dad, this is what you driving? And he's like, look, you went to private schools. You got a roof over your head. I'm doing this to help support you guys. And so it's myself and I have an older brother. But you realize like, wow. He made these sacrifices. I mean, he could easily been out here driving whatever car he wanted, traveling where he wants to, but he's making a sacrifice because he realizes the bigger picture. So that's something, you know, early on you don't really get, but now you just have a firm appreciation for.
Yes.
I have to flip it back to you, though, because I'm curious, who for you, when it comes to Black History Month, who has, you know, been that impact on your life or made you look up and say, I admire this person, I appreciate this person?
Yes. Well, definitely got to start in the household and in the family. My grandmother is 95.
Ah, there we go.
My grandmother is 95. As a matter of fact, last year for my 30th birthday, we had a special, and I had my grandma and my mom on.
Okay.
And so
awesome.
it was so amazing.
Good.
And so my grandma and my mom, definitely, hands down. They are 2 beautiful Black women who have taught me so many lessons that for a lifetime. That I try to make sure that I impact the world through those lessons. And even when I have children one day, I pray that I can pass down the experiences and the wisdom and the love and the support that they have given me throughout the years. So I definitely have to pay homage to them.
Absolutely.
I would also say, you know, I've always been a big fan of Dr. Martin Luther King. He is, because, you know, with us being motivational speakers, I'm naturally attracted to people who are leaders, who have courage, who have a spirit that is so fulfilling, and they have such a beautiful heart that they just get pumped up when they help others. It's like they live off that energy. And Dr. Martin Luther King dedicated his life to helping our people, helping to better our culture so that we could bring the world together for a better place.
Absolutely.
So I'm inspired by him. I'm inspired by even Barack Obama. I know he's more of our era. Right, more of our era now, but I look at some of these famous Black leaders and I'm just like, wow, I pray to God that I can one day be of excellence like that. I truly have been given an assignment from God, and I pray that I can fulfill that assignment by uplifting and impacting the world the way that they did.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the only thing you could ask, is recognizing that what sacrifice looks like.
Yes.
And realizing that it's not about you. And so even in my position now, I recognize that I'm you know, and it's not about boasting, but I'm the only Black male under the age of 30 in my position.
Wow.
Most people in my position are in their 40s, 50s, and up. So, you know, I recognize I'm in a unique position. And one of the things was like, you know, I think that we get in these positions and we say, oh, nobody looks like us. Oh, the corporate or the culture is different than what I'm used to. I'm uncomfortable. They don't make changes, so let me go.
Yes.
And, you know, I think I had to realize for myself that even though I didn't ask for this, I'm blessed to be in my position, and I didn't ask for this opportunity, but it is now my responsibility to now be able to bring other individuals. So there's nothing better to me that when I look back over my market, I have 35 agents I work with, and to see that the last 3-4 agencies I brought on have been minority owners and women and African Americans. Or when I look at other individuals in my position or similar positions, they came in because I introduced them or referred them to say that, you know what, it's my obligation now to
Yes.
make sure that I'm leaving this place better when I'm gone than when I'm currently here now. And so that's something that I
Yes.
feel like everyone can do too.
That is so true. And that's why I
Yeah.
love that you say it's not about us and it's
not.
not about you, because there are times when I feel like giving up. And there are times when
Absolutely.
I just want to, I ask myself, God, why did you give me so much? But I had to realize, because I had to realize a few things. To whom much is given, much is required.
Absolutely.
And I had to remember that God gives his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers.
Yep.
And even when I have those moments where I want to give up, I have to remind myself that it's not about me, that it's a little girl out there waiting to hear my story. It's a little boy out there thinking about committing suicide. But if he finds out about people like us, he can say, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Absolutely.
And that's what motivates me each and every day. I want my children to look at a legacy of excellence and greatness. So
Absolutely.
I love that you brought that up.
Who said we were going to church on
Right,
LWOO
okay,
today? We're going
right.
to church.
I know we
There
did.
go. We're getting a message today.
We got a message today. And the black iconic moments, if you think about some of those, what would you say are some of the black iconic moments that you think about that have also played a major role in inspiring you?
Yeah, I mean, I really think of, at first glance, probably 3 moments that, I mean, there's several you can go into, but 3 that I want to highlight is, of course, Black Wall Street. So, in Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma. And just the fact that you had a population of over 15,000 African Americans, and they had over 600 plus businesses that were thriving. It just shows the power that we as people have, once again, when we come together and work together. I think one of the things, especially as a black male, that you find even in my profession and public speaking and even launching this business, is that far too often we look at each other as competitors as opposed to collaborators. And we recognize that, hey, if we work together, once again, we're going to go further than if we just keep trying to do our own things and compete. So just the fact that they were able to recognize and realize that, hey, by doing business together, we can all thrive, all survive, and get better off. It's amazing to me now when you look, and we'll support luxury brands, we support big businesses, and then you have, your friend, your cousin, whoever you might know who's starting their own business. And I'm sure you might have came across the same thing, where when you started, everybody was excited and said, oh, go you. And then when you actually starting, they disappeared.
Right.
It's okay, now that I actually need the sport, now where are you?
Right.
So just see that's iconic to me, because it shows it can be done and it needs to be done again.
Yes.
I also think about, of course, more relevant was Black Panther. So Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Exactly. And so for me, it was just, once again, not the fact that it was an all-black cast, a majority black cast, that's amazing. But of course, looking at, I think it's top 10 grossing films of all time. Once again, if we all can get behind one thing, it just shows how far it can go. And so it reminds me, repeating itself, doing that behind a local small business or a minority-owned business, how much further they can be if we could just make that sacrifice and say, you know what, I'm doing this for the greater good. I'm doing this because reality is, and I said this on a podcast before, who hires the most African Americans? Minority business owners. We help foster and put the money. These big companies, and being in corporate myself, they don't have a diversity strategy. They don't have a growth strategy. And so, we will give money to a company that doesn't support us, that isn't putting money back into our communities, that's doing gentrification and building all the way around and pushing us out. But we won't put that same money towards a business that would hire individuals like us, train us, deal with us in some instances, and help us grow. So, I mean, that's something that I feel, once again, we can change the course of that. And then the last iconic moment, of course, is going back to 44. Because, you see in that moment, just to see not just African Americans, but just the world support and rally behind an African American couple. In my lifetime, I've never seen that before.
Never seen that.
And to even see when he goes down the street, or Michelle does anything going down the street, just to see the amount of people. And a lot of times they're in places, and I'm looking, and I don't even see black people in the audience. It's all white people, or whatever the case is. And they're, hey, we love you guys. So just to see that level of support, I think allows people to see that, hey, I can do this too, or I can be in these positions, or we're not all bad people, you know, and I think they have been one of the best role models, if you will, to show the positivity of what we can offer, who we really are, and you know, what we're about. Which we don't get enough shine on, I personally think.
And I love that you bring that up, Jerry, because that takes me into our next topic, Black love.
Black love.
That was, you know,
love.
Black love. Seeing Barack and Michelle, and see, that's what I'm talking about. So I've got 2 questions for you, and I know we're wrapping up soon, but I want to ask, you know, when it comes to the way a gentleman should treat a woman, to see how Barack treats Michelle, oh baby, and then even the movies that we've seen. Like I remember this movie, not Why Did I Get Married? It's
Is it the one with them in it?
It's the one with Morris Chestnut, and it's it's this family holiday movie. It's The Best Man Holiday.
Yes.
The way that Morris Chestnut, the way he treated his wife.
Absolutely.
Lord Jesus.
A queen.
His queen.
Yeah.
It was, and so that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I can't bring up this topic without saying how my husband treats me.
Hey.
You know, because I got a black brother at home that treats me like a queen.
And you see that rock? I'm blinded over here. Where my shades at?
And that's what I'm talking about. So I've got to ask you, Jay, how do you think a black king should treat a black queen? And then also the last question is, do you think that black women are the most unprotected in society? So first we'll start. I know that's kind of a handful, y'all. But but we'll focus on how a black king, in your opinion, should treat a black queen.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, both amazing questions. Both. I mean, you could go a lot of levels to that one. You know. So I'm going to try to answer both in 2 parts.
Okay.
You know, first foremost, do I think black women are the most unprotected in society? Yeah, I do. And I'll touch on that. Going back to how a black king should treat his black queen, one thing that I talked about with Pillars of Black Gentleman's Guide is health and wellness. And so I answer that to say, first and foremost, in order for a black king to be able to treat his black queen the right way, he has to, one, make sure that he's good within. Because if he's not focusing on being the best version of himself, he's not going to be able to provide what she really needs at the end of the day.
Right.
And I think far too often, from the stereotypes of, black men I wanted talking about mental wellness or from a spiritual level, or even pushing down our faults and just internalizing things. The better we are the better we are able to get that off, get that off our chests, be able to speak about it, focus on taking care of ourselves, the better off we're going to be able to provide for someone else.
Yes.
There's too many men out here who they're with a woman and she's taking care of him. And that's because he's not even trying to take care of himself. So how can he take care of her?
Right.
So, to me, that's where the foundation has to start. Is there has to be a black man, really, and I'm going to be honest, black men need to still learn how to be men. And I think far too often, nobody rises to low expectations, but far too often women aren't requiring the man to be a man.
Wow.
And it's not that a woman needs to teach him how to be a man. He has to learn that for himself. But you can't expect a king if he's still a prince.
Oh, come on.
I mean, that's just the reality. And my thing is, it's his actions that will show that. I mean, guys, we can be suave. We know how to talk. We know what to say, how to say it, and paint a good picture. But if our actions aren't leading up to it, it doesn't matter. And so when you look at, especially Barack and Michelle, you see it not just with his words, but his actions show it all the time. When she walks in the room, he stops the interview to look at her.
Right.
When she's walking, he's the one actively going to grab her hand. He's the one who's actively calling her out, and not in a negative way, calling her out, saying, hey, you're the reason I am who I am, and who I've become. And so for a black king, the proper way he should treat his black queen all the times is almost, and I'm going to just say it, a black king, and I'm saying it again just so you hear it, a black king should treat the black queen as if she's the king. And that's the reality of the situation. Because if you're treating her as the king, then one, you always going to be taken care of.
That's real.
Two, you're making sure that she's on the pedestal and nobody gets to her. And that's your way for going to that second question, which is she unprotected? Absolutely. Because she's out here trying to take care of you, take care of herself, take care of the family. And that's your responsibility. Once again, she didn't ask you to put the ring on her finger. You're the one who went out and asked to be engaged. You're the one who went out. One of the things that we talked about recently on Black Love Week and Black Gentlemen's Guide is specifically about that, which is, you know, we are taking the ownership and recognizing that you didn't ask for this. So if I'm the one asking for this, I should be the one taking the ownership, taking the lead, and pushing this along, not the other way around.
Right.
And so for a Black queen, she needs to, hey, let him do that. Let him be the man, and not just let him be the man, but allow him to show his actions through that. Yes. I think at the end of the day, when a king is focusing on protecting his woman, protecting his queen, then ultimately you're always going to have a successful marriage, a successful life, and everything else.
Yes, and it's true because my husband always says, happy wife, happy life. So when I tell you, he does an amazing job of treating me the way that a Black king should treat a Black queen. It's truly a blessing. And I agree. I thank you for that response. Because what you just said, it's going to help a lot of marriages, a lot of relationships, because people need to know the value of how to treat each other. Yeah. You know, I always say, it's sometimes people don't remember what you say, and they don't always remember what you do, but people always remember how you make them feel.
Absolutely.
So Jared, I just want to thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
You are absolutely amazing, and I'm just so proud of you, brother.
Thank you so much.
And we conquered a lot, and you're going to have to come back again.
I know.
Because I'm telling you, I know all three of the pieces are popular, but that Black love piece, I'm telling you, I love, because who ultimately everybody wants to be loved. Yeah. Period, point blank.
Absolutely.
You know, whether it's a friendship, whether it's with your family, everybody on this earth, we're human, and humans want to be loved.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna have to come back on
that.
Hey,
let's make it happen.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. No shout, no doubt, without question, I am LWOO, the powerhouse. Well, peace, y'all.
I'm all about the community and bringing forth the unity, and you will see that's ill. And we can change the whole world, not with diamonds and pearls. Raise up boys, little girls. That's ill. You see, that's where it all starts. From the bottom of my heart, we can reach the top charts. That's ill. And if we all come together, we can change the whole world before it all fall apart. That's ill. So I invest in my mind, invest in my grind, invest in my shine. I reach the whole world due time. Have a conversation with me, see what's on my mind. Got the whole team doing real fine, no more wasting time. The world say we not equal, but my people understand there's only one life to live, no sequel. Now run and tell your whole crew, who knew? Now you see what we do. That's right, LWOO. Welcome to the LWOO show, y'all, where we give you daily motivation and encourage you to never give up on your dreams. We talk about many topics, but the ones we focus on are self-confidence, entrepreneurship, and gun violence. At all times, remember to claim who you are, own who you are, and execute who you are. Who would have thought LWOO would use music to reach people? Now you see the flow's lethal, plus the essence of the message, you must respect it. Watch me make chess move, this not checkers. The whole world is reckless, it's too bogus. Enemy tried to stop me, but I'm too focused. Putting letters in my mailbox, I got the notice, but I keep pushing forward. Y'all notice that I keep grinding, so I keep shining. Ancestors threw me a letter, so I keep climbing to the top till I reach my goals. Then I throw down some ice back to the earth, cause the flow's too cold. Trials and tribulations got your girl so bold, but we got things to accomplish and the show unfolds, you know. Now run and tell your whole crew, who knew? Now you see what we do, that's right, LWOO.